Welcome back to Rich Words Music, where today, by popular demand, we're shooting out this stock Epiphone 2020 SG Classic in warm green and this modded Harley Benton SC-450 gold top. Let's do it. Okay, so the reason we're shooting these two guitars out today is because you guys have asked for it, and I'm guessing that's mostly because they both have two P90 pickups and both come from classic Gibson designs. But that's where the similarities maybe end a little bit. Now, the Epiphone 2020 SG Classic, which I have in this beautiful satin open grain worn green finish, oh, just look at that there. This costs about 360 euros, pounds or dollars to buy it new from a store. Now, it has a mahogany body and neck, an Indian laurel fingerboard, two Epiphone Pro P90 humbuckers, a three-way switch, volume and tone controls, and down here at the headstock end, we've got the 2020 Epiphone open book headstock design, which I know a lot of people really thought was long overdue, and we've got Epiphone Deluxe tuners there. So we know what this one's going to do, and we know what this one is roughly going to do as well, because of course the Harley Benton SC-450 P90 gold top model is based off 50s Gibson Les Pauls before they went to humbuckers, when they were still using soap bar P90s and when they had these beautiful gold top finishes. But as I said, this guitar is far more affordable than the Epiphone to buy it from the shop. This is less than half the price. Now, my friend Uwe, who owns this guitar, until I buy it from him, because I will at some point, Uwe, he has put at least 100 euros of work and time into getting this guitar into better shape than it was when he bought it. It was about 150 euros, I think, from Thomann when he bought it, and he's put at least 100 back into that. Now, what he has done is installed a bone nut here, he's put Grover Deluxe tuners on it, and he's also done a full and thorough setup, spent plenty of time trying to align the pickups the best possible way, making sure that the frets are nice and smooth, making sure that the action and the intonation were absolutely perfect. And what we've got here is an absolutely kick-ass instrument for the price now. I'd probably price it at about between $250 and $300 to get this guitar plus all that work done. So it's still a good chunk of money cheaper than the Epiphone in that sense. Now, the specs quickly for this guitar: you've got a basswood body, a maple neck and a blackwood fingerboard, two generic soap bar P90 pickups, two volumes and tones, three-way switch. Here we've got the Grovers, where the original Harley Benton would have generic tuners of this style, and it would normally just have a plastic nut, and we've got the bone nut here. In terms of neck shape, Thomann advertised the SC-450 as having a standard C-shaped neck, and it feels really comfortable to play. It's not too thin at all, it's certainly not a modern neck. I guess it's leaning more towards 50s or 60s Gibsons. In terms of neck profile, it's a good chunk in the hand and I find it really comfortable. Epiphone say that this is a 60s slim taper design, and Epiphone SG necks, which I grew up playing by the way, often have this D sort of a shape, so I find that very comfortable as well. This is of course a satin finish on the neck, and this is gloss, so if you don't like a bit of stickiness under the hands, start thinking about either sanding that down or getting something that has a satin neck instead. Okay, so enough about the guitars. I should say that I have done full and thorough reviews on both of these here on my channel. You can see the links for those reviews down in the description there or up in the cards, so please watch those after this if you want more information about each guitar or you want to hear more sounds. But let's do the comparison now and we'll talk about it afterwards. Okay then, so we've just heard the two guitars, and I would love it now if you would tell me which you think sounded better. Which of the guitars had the best clean sound, which had the best crunch, and which did the best impression of metal? Please leave your thoughts down there in the comments. I'll read them all and reply to them all as well, and let's get a little dialogue going about that. My 2 cents then is that these two guitars both represent excellent value for money, and they're both very, very versatile. I think where the Epiphone especially won was on the higher gain drop D stuff with the bridge pickup there. It just had a kind of more modern biting, chugging sound to it when we did those riffs, and the Harley Benton did not quite keep up, at least in my ears, as I was playing. Now of course P90 pickups and classic guitars are not exactly the standard instruments we might think about when we want to play music like that, but in this case I did them and they both did a very passable job, but the Epiphone just scored slightly higher. Going back to the clean sounds, and in particular to the neck pickup, the Harley Benton scored major points because the neck pickup on that guitar is beautiful. It's fat and creamy and thick, and the Epiphone sounded thin in comparison. The Epiphone pickup is not bad at all. In fact, it's a really good pickup for the money, I would say, but the Harley Benton really scored points there. That's possibly to do with the setup. As I said before, my friend Uwe set the Harley Benton up and spent a lot of time on it, making sure that everything was as good as it could be. And that's possibly the next part, playability, where the Harley Benton also scores fairly well. Of course it has the bone nut added, it has the Grover Deluxe tuners, it's had a neck setup for action and intonation, and the pickups have been fettled and adjusted to the perfect alignment. And the Epiphone has not had anything done to it, so this is how it came new in the box. And I think that with the benefit of a setup, the Epiphone would be elevated above the Harley Benton, but as we are, the Harley Benton is in slightly better shape in that sense. The action is slightly lower and it just has a little bit more of a slinky feel to it. When it comes to the necks, that's another big difference. So the Epiphone has what they call a 60s slim taper, and for my mind it's kind of a D shape, which I associate with Epiphones and I really, really like. You might not, it's a personal taste thing, but it also has a satin finish, which means it's really easy to go up and down the neck. Now the SC-450 has a standard C-shaped neck profile. It's fairly chunky, it feels really comfy for me, it's also glossy. So if you don't like a sticky glossy neck, consider that you might have to do something there as well. But when it comes down to it, ultimately, I think that both of these guitars handle a multitude of styles very, very well. And I think if you want to buy one guitar with which you want to cover lots and lots of ground, you can't go wrong with either of these. In terms of the Harley Benton costing less than half as much as the Epiphone, I think that's a bit of a misnomer, because ultimately you would probably have to spend the same amount of time, effort and money as my friend did to get it up to the standard that this specific instrument is now. Although I may buy a new one of my own just to find out if that's actually true. And if you get an Epiphone, you know what you're going to get. You may have to get it set up, and I will give mine a setup to take it up that extra 5% to perform even better than it does now. But as I said, and as I have been saying over and over again, you can't really go wrong with either of these. So if you've got the budget for one of these, this is what I'd go for. If you've got the budget for one of those, go for the Harley Benton. You will be absolutely 100% satisfied with it. That's it for today. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm still really enjoying making videos for the Rich Words Music channel. There will be many more spurious guitar-based videos to come. If you have any ideas or any suggestions, or if you would like me to do anything specific, please tell me. I'll do it. I'm always open to talking to you guys in the comments, as you'll have seen already, and I'm always interested to know what you would like to see. But that's it for today's video. I've been Rich for Rich Words Music, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.